Alright, hello everybody, and welcome to what is apparently going to be an area randomizer. Information just brought to my knowledge. We have CheatyFace facing off against BlackEliteJohn, as well as Croakomire and Sloaters. So a very fun four-way. It should be pretty exciting. And we're off. Vanilla Morph Ball, so nice to see. And early power bombs. So early reserve tank. Okay. Ceiling item is just missiles. See John going for them. Meanwhile, Croakomire going for a Billy Mays check. At this point in the game, the more miners you find, the better off you'll be. Looks like John also making the play, as well as Cheaty. Everybody gonna check out Billy Mays. Finding a pair of energy tanks, that'll be helpful. With area randomizer, you never know until you find it whether or not it can be thrust into a heated room. So definitely good to have the health this early. I suppose I probably should have realized that this is going to be a full rando with that reserve tank pickup at the first missiles, but there we go. So two E-tanks and a reserve tank. Power bombs, missiles. Still looking for supers to make sure we don't get stuck behind any doors. But so far, looking like a very healthy start. And another E-tank left a morph ball. So the healthy becoming healthier. A little disappointing. None of our runners opting to meme it up. Probably a good call. Um, don't want to wind up going anywhere early and having the area you zone into wind up being something lethal. There's more missiles underneath Mother Brain tank. but ammo is ammo. We're not going to be too picky at this juncture. So there's the beautiful right side climb. Meanwhile, Cheaty making excellent time with Behemoth climb. Gonna get a look at our bomb chorizo and see what lies in wait for us there. And it's X-ray scope. Well, that's interesting. One thing that is worth mentioning, if I'm not mistaken, uh, two incentives that were met for this race are runners must use Spazer instead of Plasma, and runners must find and use Space Jump. So we will see if these items wind up being in trolley locations. This could be a very fast seed. These items could be on the way, or this could wind up being a very slow seed if Space Jump is behind, say, Shack Tool. We're taking refills at the ship. Without bombs or speed booster, you want to be careful not to get stuck. Also, it looks like with the power bomb usage that took place down in Blue Bryn, we're wanting to make sure that we have enough bombs to check, or power bombs rather, to check 230 missiles here for John, and he is rewarded with his plasma beam. So I do not know if he is allowed to use that until he finds Spazer, but as it stands right now, it'll be a very useful addition to his arsenal. Meanwhile, we have an energy tank at Terminator, so that's also very interesting. We're getting a gauntlet check from Croak. I like this play. He'll at least have knowledge of whatever the item is. Taking a save at the ship, not going to lose too much time to reset out. Oh, and Slaughter's made the same play? No. They went down through Terminator. Sorry about that. Croak not liking what he saw. Reset. Ooh, and unfortunately, we find ourselves some heated rooms already, so that is not pleasant. Crook getting his plasma beam. Finding more power bombs and an energy tank at Burnstar Reserve. Not bad things to find. And even more energy tanks. Yes, a very healthy seed thus far. Putting Slaughter's already at 7 tanks. Good to go for stand-up, if he so desires. How Run's not going to be nearly as terrifying with 7 E-tanks and a reserve, but still got to be hoping for other items to be found. Slaughter's picking up another reserve tank. Very interesting. Unfortunately, I did not catch what was down near Edicoons. But Slaughter's obliging with a check now, so I will find out. CheatyFace heading on up to check this item location down at Edicoons proper, and finds another reserve tank. Ooh. High jump boots, though, that's a very nice find. No supers, so they can't check that green door down by Edicoons. That might wind up eating at a couple of our runners, but we'll see. being just one location. If they find supers in Pinkburn, they might come back. But anywhere further than that, unless routing takes them back through Brinstar, I don't see that check being made. So once again, a very, very healthy seed. Tanks galore. If I'm not mistaken, we've seen 7 E-tanks thus far and 3 reserves, which is pretty remarkable for the first 10 minutes. Other areas will be presumably loaded by comparison. Finding looks like more missiles in Big Pink. And another energy tank of charge missiles. And another energy tank of charge. Oh boy. So our runner is unable to proceed through Brinstar any further without super missiles. All of them probably going to head back out. It would be interesting to see if anybody gambles on Spo, but the possibility of supers being there, being so low, I would love the troll, just don't see it happening. Cheaty looking to make the play on Gauntlet now. So I believe now, taking a look at that, all of her runners do know where the entrance to Laura Norfair is. So that will be useful later. Looks like John refilling the ship, taking a save. He'll probably make a check on Gauntlet as well. We'll see how that pans out. With that power bomb count, we'll be able to make it out no problem. If I'm not mistaken, I saw Grapple Beam at one of the 2 Gauntlet minor locations, so that could be very helpful. It would certainly make getting a direct ship a lot easier, but we are still also looking for super missiles, so... John getting grabbed by that yapping maw, but not really a problem with that much energy. Acid hurts, but I mean, when these runners are used to checking this location with 2 or 3 tanks, and they're in here with 8 or 9, that winds up being a pretty big deal. Oh, there we go. I did not catch those supers at Gauntlet, so that's very nice. And grabbing the Tickle Beam, some are launch. There, it looks like we have a Meridia entrance for Sloaters. Gonna gamble. This does afford a little bit of information as far as a couple item checks along the way, and heading down will also allow Sloaters to find yet another entrance to another area by traveling to the crate entrance. If I'm not mistaken, that is Charge Beam. Oh no, Spacer, sorry. A little blurry on my end, so I do apologize about that if I get these calls wrong. Still, Spacer, that's one of the items that our runners must use per the incentive. So that means that Sloaters has one less item to track down, which is very nice. And we see some of our other runners now making plays with their super missiles back into green and pink Bryn, finding more supers for their trouble thus far. So that ammo count's going to be good. With Charge Beam still MIA, you want to be able to make sure that you can kill any bosses that you might have to come across, as this area randomizer dictates. And Sloaters finding the entrance to Crane. Working out very well. Hopefully, though, we'll be able to escape the clutches of Meridia after getting whatever lies beyond Kraid. Finding Screw Attack at the Kraid Minor location. Very nice. And now Croak, with the knowledge that the supers that he covets so dearly are through gauntlets, so we'll likely be making a play on that as well. Now, unfortunately, Sloaters does not have supers, so I do believe that means Kraid will be standing up today. John getting his space jump, so that is what was in that giant side hopper room in Pink Bryn. Very nice, very nice. That is the other item that was required by incentive. All runners must pick up and use space jump. I do believe this incentive exists solely for John, whose unadulterated love of space jump truly knows no bound. Meanwhile, Sloaters doing battle with Kraid. Wavegate just holding missiles. Looks like Spo is just holding out on some power bombs. Not a bad thing to find, but not what we're looking for, unfortunately. Our runner's obviously hoping for suits, beams, or more supers at this juncture. With high jump boots, I can't imagine they're wanting too much more in the way of movement outside of speed booster. So we'll see which one of these routes that our runners are exploring will wind up paying off. Grade going down for Sloaters. And Sloaters getting some supers for his trouble. So in a way, I have to think that Sloaters is feeling pretty good about that find. Obviously, having supers before Kraid would have been ideal, but knowing that they're in hand now, unless Grapple Beam winds up being required for some suitless Meridia shenanigans, that means the Sloaters will not have to bother with the Gauntlet. And getting Gravity Suit. Very nice for Sloaters at the Crate tank. That's going to make getting out of Meridia so much easier. I was fearing the potential of a soft lock. Was expecting, honestly, to see Ice Beam, but this works too. Have to imagine a runner of Sloater's caliber going to just head through Meridia, clear out everything that's possible. We'll probably see a sandpit check. Unfortunately, a decent chunk of Meridia locked off by their speed booster Ice Beam. But Gravity Suit also going to protect against lava, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know that that was corrected here in this version of the randomizer. But we'll be able to at least traverse certain areas with greater ease, most of which being our dearly beloved Meridia. Now Croak heading through the tube into Red Tower. So we'll have more item locations. Like John is already there as well. So I do apologize if I'm missing locations, everybody. And Croak finding Speed Booster, it looks like. And I apologize once again, forgetting this is a full shuffle of items. Tons of locations to check in Meridia, with or without Speed Booster and Ice Beam. So Sloater's here making some excellent checks with the items already in possession. And we're getting an X-ray check now from Cheaty. And from Croak, who does not have their space jump. Sloater's having a little bit of difficulty getting into that really tight jump, having to rely on a power bomb, wanting to conserve ammunition, and I completely understand that. Without bombs, you want to avoid a soft lock. And that looks like a charge beam. So Meridia already paying off, having a lot of luck, making it through, taking that risk of the potential soft lock or potential more suitless shenanigans, and coming out very much ahead so far for the trial. And John finding an entrance to Upper Norfair. Going to see some sandpit checks from Sloaters here, and also going to check the Aqueduct minor locations. Looks like we might get some clipping shenanigans with the snake. Without having Speed Booster in possession, definitely a good play to make. It's a very tight window to get it nailed down right, but Sloater's very, very well skilled in that. Croak as well, I've seen. John has done it. I believe Cheaty's done as well. All four of these runners very good also at puzzles, which often require tricks such as this. So shouldn't take too much trouble, but you have to wonder how much time Sloaters will commit. And gets up, gets very astute for the trouble. Sloater's now in go mode. Ooh, Cheaty committing to some hell runs here. Plenty of health to do it. Unfortunately, not going to find the suits or charge beam that they'll be looking for here. Oh, sorry, I lied. Slitter's not in go mode yet. Still needs either Speed Booster or Ice Beam to access Batu and Dragon, but still with Charge and both suits, Slitter's definitely in a very advantageous position. Taking a look at the Sandpit items here, we have a Super Tank and a Missile Tank. Slitter's going to reset out of there saying, nah, I'm good. As Cheetah's going to start work on Bubble Mountain. John now also going to commit to Hell Runs. Also, unfortunately, probably not going to find anything of real value. We've already seen most of the major items that matter. Still MIA that might be of interest to our runners. Spring Ball, Wave Beam, Ice Beam, but nothing of the significant impact that Meridia has held for Sloaters. So we will see if anything winds up swinging in the Norfair play's favor. But you got to figure too, they have space jump, they've got high jump, they've got all this health. Traversing Norfair is not difficult for runners such as these four. And we're getting some X-ray climbing from Sloaters, going to make that Shack Tool play without grapple or ice. This is always fun to see. Hopefully, Sloaters does not wind up soft locking. It would be unfortunate to see another reset at this juncture. I mean, Sloaters over here actually using what I always assumed to be Croakomire strats. So, I mean, this is a real 300 IQ play. And we have what looks like a Crystal Flash attempt for Cheaty. Yep, gonna go ahead and get that refill. Good call when you're dealing with heated rooms. Plenty of ammo to sustain something like that. Definitely makes Hell Runs a little bit faster, a little bit safer in some people's eyes. Croak now going to wind up collecting their wonderful space. Now we have John moving into the Lower Norfair escape to see where this door leads him. And he finds himself in Meridia, not wanting to commit. Don't blame him. No real way to get out of that room. We find Spring Ball at Norfair Reserve. So Cheaty validating their run. Slaughter's taking a reset. X-ray climb, unfortunately, not panning out. Looks like Owl pointing out jumped too early, got permastuck. Unfortunate, but it's okay. Slaughter's did save. So while time lost, still I would say at a significant advantage just due to the ownership of suits and charge beam. Still needs to find a speed booster or ice beam to finish out Meridia. Still needs to grab space jump as well to meet the incentive requirements for this race. But we will see how it all pans out. Given that space jump was so early, I have to wonder whether or not Slaughter's will make the play back to Pink Bryn with super missiles in hand. It may be a while. And Croak looking at the clench play here, going for a full suitless lava dive. Very interesting. This could go all kinds of horrible. Unfortunately, not going to find suits down there. Not going to find charge. Not going to find spacer, which is also required. We'll take a save, though. I have to wonder, though, if this is a soft lock for Croak. Does Croak have enough energy to escape the lava dive on his way out, should the lower Norfair play not work out? So Slaughter's now making the Norfair checks, having full suit protection, nothing holding him back. And Croak with 3 full reserve tanks. Okay, so with that in hand, he will be able to escape back through the lava dive if things go south. Unfortunately, I don't know if he's going to live long enough to get a look at what's at GT here. Oh, and dying before the Crystal Flash attempt could fully kick in. Unfortunate. But again, saving right there after the lava dive can give it another shot. And we have John betting on Croc. So I am a firm proponent of that. We also have CheatyFace joining him in the Croakomire gambling. However, again, no suits, no charge. It would have to be Ice Beam at this point, I'd say, for it to really be worth it. Unfortunately, they don't know that. However, Slaughter's will. It'll be interesting to see if Slaughter's makes the play on Croakomire, or if they decide to explore other areas instead. Croak now waiting to get into Crystal Flash range to break the statue, not wanting to risk dying again. Getting that tasty health refill, unfortunately at the cost of all of the ammunition. Slither's grabbing his spring ball. Good choice. Spring ball attack, highly underrated. The item can be used for a number of things, both intended and not. I'm just a big fan of it because it's such a unique form of movement that I hadn't seen in a game before Super Metroid. So, I like it. Croak committing to the GT fight. It's risky, but he does have a decent opportunity here to refill on ammunition as well as health as needed, staying well below that missile threshold that Golden Chorizo has that determines what attack patterns it'll allow. Slither's making the play on Croc. Fortunately, we know that Slither's isn't going to find what he needs down here. Cheaty double checking to make speed booster is on, or to make sure, I should say. Having a little bit of trouble there with short charges, but does get it. Unfortunately today, Croakomire not being the play, but the knowledge is there. Our runners, except for Croak, I believe, have the knowledge now that Croakomire, while fun to kill, not very helpful today. And Croak defeating GT. Very well done considering the equipment limitations in place. Fortunately, there is a recharge room here. But it looks like Croak may be committing to more suitless Lower Norfair shenanigans? Or maybe they'll head out. So I would like to note it's pretty interesting how this seed wound up. Because in one sense it is free, but it immediately presents you with a risk that a lot of people would not be willing to take in the potential soft lock that would exist in Kraid. However, Slitter's taking that gamble and being rewarded handsomely for it, receiving first their gravity suit, which allowed the exploration of Meridia, which then led to Charge Beam and Varia suit. So just one little decision in routing often has an impact on races, but it's rarely one this big. However, still needing to pick up their speed booster, which all of our other runners have, still needing to pick up the space jump, which is required by the incentives. Speed booster will put Sloaters into go mode, so it's just a matter now of finding it. And we're seeing some spring ball jumps. John once again showing why space jump is one of the best items in the game, turning a tricky situation in that crumble shaft into easy traverse. More crystal flash strats from Croak. John now up to 12 E-tanks. Again, it's been a very healthy seed, especially for our runners who did not delve down into Meridia, where all the good stuff was. Meanwhile, we have Cheaty traversing Forgotten Highway and into the wrecked ship, the first of our runners to face off potentially against Fantoon in a very good situation health-wise and ammo-wise. Can't imagine ducking out of here. Croak with enough ammo for one more Crystal Flash, opting to dip out of Lower Norfair, having given everything he could to the check. At least having the knowledge that Golden Chorizo not hiding anything. Oh, I see. A safety safe before heading back down. You're always fooling me, Croak. 300 IQ plays. I'm just not smart enough to keep up. John now also in this ship, going to do battle with his Elephant Ghost. And Slaughter's en route to do the same. However, Slaughter's already having both suits and charge beam, doesn't need to be quite as finicky with ammo, but without wave, we will still probably just see Doppler strats. Charge beam just being a nice backup in an absolute worst case scenario. Croak traversing worst room in the game. Oh my god, the clench. That golden pirate not wanting to cooperate, resorting to supers to kill it. And we're going to get a check at Mickey Mouse here. Again, you know, we have the benefit of knowledge. Unfortunately, it does not have enough power bombs to make that play. Making it through Amphitheater. Right side supers being just right side supers for Cheaty. Fire Flea Supers. Considering that Croak probably will not want to turn back at this juncture, Super Missile is going to be very helpful for dealing with Ridley. At this point, though, gotta farm up some of that ammo. Not exactly in the best position. Going to need a Crystal Flash to safely traverse any deeper. Cheaty now making the play on Wreck Ship E-Tank, having frustrated just a missile pack, and a reset. Meanwhile, Sloaters has Enraged Fantoon, while normally unfortunate, having Screw Attack and Charge Beam, but also demonstrating a safer way to dodge most of the flames by jumping along the sides of the wall. And the Ghost is dead for 3 of our runners. Meanwhile, Croak committing to the fill-up, hoping to get plenty of power bombs, it looks like. John taking a reset as well, not satisfied with that Rex Chip tank. Don't blame him. We're going to get a look at the reserve tank item here in Rex Ship as well. We know it won't be anything too incredible, but the possibility still exists for something of use. Unfortunately, we just get power bombs this time, but that will be a load off of Sloaters coming up here without Speed Booster. Cheaty handling bowling, nice. John going to be on his way there shortly. Meanwhile, Croak still getting those power bombs up, getting a little bit of health, losing a little bit of health. And Sloater's cleaning up Attic now. Going to check the right side of Attic. I've often heard runners say that this play is never worth it, but with Sloaters not knowing where Ice Beam or Speed Booster are, a good location to check. Until you're in go mode, I'm a firm believer that unless it's super far out of the way, it should be in consideration. John just committing to the wreck ship reserve item, picking up more of those tasty PBs. Chitty attempting to get out of the right side of ocean for Forgotten Highway. Without gravity suit, it's difficult. I'm not entirely sure if it's possible, actually. But definitely wanting to go back the way they came. Oh, and an ice beam pickup on Sloters. I missed that. That is go mode. We'll need space jump though to meet the incentive requirements for the seed. We'll see if Sloters remembers that. It'll be unfortunate to see such a powerful lead not hold up because of the demands that the donators have placed on our hard-working runners. Croak accidentally triggering his reserves. Not what we wanted to see happen. Still committing to the slower nor fair play. Oh no, Cheaty taking a death. Slither starting up for the ice clip and gets it. Going to move on to our dear friend Batu. Cheaty taking a refill. Grapple Beam arguably making it quicker, but I do think that I suppose this makes it nice and safe. Slither's refilling on health and ammo before moving on to take care of Dragon. Meanwhile, Cheaty Crystal flashing, a more efficient way to get the health up, I think, at that juncture. John heading up Red Tower, and Croak still doing Croak. So Cheaty heading up Red Tower. So it looks like we have Cheaty being grabbed by some Samus Eaters, taking an opportunity there to kind of make the best of a bad situation, get some enemies killed for ammo drops. Gonna check out Alpha PBs and get, what is that? A super tank. Slither's using the good old gravity jump to make his Dragon escape. Very nice. So Slither's now has 3 bosses down, just needs to take out Ridley, and knows where to go for the entrance to Lower Norfair. To my knowledge, we have not discovered the entrance to G4 yet. Still a few entrances and exits to zones that we haven't seen. Slither's also will still need to pick up Space Jump, which we know is in Pink Bryn. Estimate was an hour 45. Getting the plasma check now from Sloaters. Without the knowledge of where Space Jump is, I mean, you're already in Meridia, you've found your suits early, you've been routing this about as well as you can. Gotta be feeling like you're in a decent position. So there's no shame in making a check like this, especially when you have the means to get out with, say, Screw Attack. Yeah, John now heading back, looking like he was going to be making his play on Meridia. Some interesting slope physics on that Shine Spark through. Fun to see. Thank you, John. And making the play on criteria PBs along with Cheaty. So almost a sync there. Definitely some high five action going on. Always good to see. But just a missile tank. Oh, now Sloater's making another play on Shaq Tool here, attempting the X-ray climb earlier. Unfortunately, that did not pan out, so Sloater's went for the option of leaving. Gets a beautiful clip there, right on through and onto Shaq Tool. Nice to see that this method did not take too much time. You figure over an hour into a seed, you don't want to lose time, so. And hopefully, Shaq Tool gets killed. After all, Shaq Tool, a menace to society, a boy from the hood, he likes to cause trouble by simply destroying everything that gets in his way, even Samus if you're not careful. Shaq Tool is a being that only knows destruction and hatred. If it's not his way, it's the highway. Kill Shaq Tool. Save a Samus. Croak, no! Sloaters, unfortunately, losing a little bit of my respect there, sparing Shaq Tool. But the quality of the race so far, I guess I'll still have to abide. It's been an absolute pleasure to watch. Yeah, you Shaq Tool lovers can, step off with your pro Shaq Tool copy pastas. We all know he's the end. In fact, depending on who you talk to, he may be the biblical enemy. And yes, thank you, Pineapple, for a donation. Everybody, this is, as far as I know, the last run of the marathon. If you have any donations, go ahead, get them in now. Show your love to Ceriam. This marathon was put together by Waldo and a bunch of other people. Unfortunately, I do not have a total list right now. but a lot of hard work, a lot of man hours went into this. Ceriam wound up losing everything from Hurricane Michael in October. So it's very nice to see all of this come together, to see the community come together. So if anybody's planning on throwing in any more donations, get them in now. Time's almost out. And to everybody who has donated, subscribed, given bits, or even just spread the word about this marathon, thank you so much for helping make it a possibility. Cheaty, with the equipment, going to be able to do a lot more Stootless Meridia than Sloters was able to. Unfortunately, going to send him in the wrong direction. As we know, one of the Meridia exits, the one that would take you to the tube, actually will take you down into Crade. Crade holds gravity, and then gravity leads to both Varia and Charge Beam. And Rumblemans, the real MVP, 5 gift subs. Thank you so much for showing the love and support. Looks like Slaughter's now going to head down to Lower Norfair, take care of Ridley, probably clean it out, looking for that space jump. First, actually, looks like we're going to see Gauntlet. So unfortunately, Gauntlet only holding Grapple Beam, which is no longer useful to Sloters, missiles and super missiles. With Charge Ice, Spazer, and the ammo already picked up, I don't know if Sloters will wind up picking any of those up or just pass them by on the way back. Sloters seeing those missiles and saying, nah, I'm good. Heading back out the way he came. All right, thank you for helping me out with that. I got Waldo in here as well.
Hey everybody, I just wanted to read off a couple donations. Is this a good time?
Yeah, it certainly looks like it's a good time. We're seeing a bunch of checks that all of our other runners have already made.
Okay, cool. So, first off, we have a donation from Claire for $20 that says "Better late than never." We have one from from Chili that says "Glad to see everyone coming together to help. Always enjoy the streams. Take care, Siri." We have one from Tatori for $5, and it says, "Oh, sorry, why you make BlackEliteJohn use space jump? Because we like to see John suffer."
Yes, we do.
We have one from my boy Pineapple, and he says, "For my boy Siri." And then one last donation from Nolan, X Nolan X, and it says, "Let's make 3K happen, y'all." And we're about $85 off of 3,000, so really close.
$85, you say? You guys can do that, right? Also worth noting, Sloater's grabbing his space jump, officially putting him in go mode. Looks like there's just a little bit of thinking, trying to remember where that Lower Norfair entrance was. And then, if I'm not mistaken, it'll be the hunt for G4. So Waldo, why didn't you want to race this? I think you would have had so much fun.
I have my reasons. Mostly, I am terrible at Super Metroid.
Yeah, me too. So I feel ya. Unfortunately, a death there for Cheaty. John now getting his charge beam. One step closer to go mode for him. 14 out of 14 E-tanks, by the way. Not sure how I missed that, but good on you, John, for being the healthiest Sunbro. So Slaughter is now into Lower Norfair, going to probably head straight down to Ridley, given that our runners are forced to use Spacer when it is picked up. Oh no, Cheaty getting hit again. While Crystal flashing, unfortunately, Samus has no iframes, so every frame of movement through Samus, you take full damage, and being suitless on top of that, Dragon just deals massive damage to you, mows you down in seconds. Well, fractions of seconds, I should say. However, without having suits, I believe this is the only way to escape, short of X-ray climb, which I expect to see out of Croak. There's something about when Dragon grabs you while you're crystal flashing, gives you blue suit, so then you wind up using the grapple beam to escape Dragon room, and then you shine spark out of the room before Dragon. So that's why we see Cheaty taking such insane strategies here. I know I certainly would not want to use a Crystal Flash in a boss fight. Meanwhile, John gaining tons of time over Cheaty and Croak with that gravity suit. As much as he hates that space jump, we clearly see that he loves it. Such masterful use, not botching a single jump. Honestly, I don't know what John would do without space jump. Also, Cheaty unfortunately taking another death, in addition to the inherent risk of trying to Crystal Flash while enemies are present. There's also, unfortunately, the reality that, well, you got to be below 50 energy to Crystal Flash, which puts you basically in a one-shot range for any of Dragon's attacks. John also having speed booster for his Dragon fight, so it'll be a quick one. And he'll be able to obviously escape without any real issue whatsoever. Slitter's meanwhile farming up some supers. I like the play. Ridley taking double damage from supers means you only need 30 to kill him. Obviously, sorry about that, a much faster way to go about the fight than using Charge Ice Phaser. So, a good call there. Better to be safe than sorry, especially in a race scenario. And using some swaggy screw attack space jump strats to do his farm. Dragon going down for John. Unfortunately, Cheaty taking another death. Croak still traversing Meridia suitless. And Sloater's beginning our first Ridley fight of the race. And John also having Spazer. I believe he's in go mode. I did not see him pick up his various suits. If anybody could confirm or deny. And Croak not only going for suitless, but getting himself in position to Crystal Flash. Oh, I guess he would have to do Crystal Flash here, wouldn't he? Not having Ice Beam. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is a frame-perfect trick. Requires very, very precise movements. It can be very difficult to pull off. It can be very frustrating. But it looks like we'll have plenty of attempts, so long as Croak is willing. There seems to be a little bit of hesitation there, keeping an eye on the powerbomb count. Seems to be having a little bit of trouble getting that second morph in position. And a reset. Yeah, good point there, Waldo. Like I pointed out a little bit ago during his Lower Norfair shenanigans, Croak doing Croak. John taking a moment to reflect. Gonna have to find his way down to Lower Norfair to deal with Ridley. Now Sloters is just on the hunt for G4. Sloaters shouldn't have too much trouble with this Norfair escape, Screw Attack being an invaluable tool to deal with the multitude of dangerous enemies in his way. Meanwhile, John now looks like he is going to be heading up to find his uh, entrance to Lower Norfair and deal with Ridley. Croak's still doing Croak stuff. Looks like now we're getting in position for G mode, perhaps? Meanwhile, Cheaty opting to duck out of Meridia and taking this path down will be the right call. We'll find Gravity Suit. Cheaty gonna get his Spazer, which will be one step closer to go mode. Based on our crazy incentives. Unfortunately, Sloater's taking a death. Gonna have to do battle with Ridley. Oh no, not a death. What am I thinking? Or maybe? Sorry. I was unfortunately very momentarily distracted. Chat, clear this up for me. What happened?
Looks like we got two more donations that just came in.
Go for it.
We've got one for $5 from Dolahan that says Siri Love. And then we have one from Paul No Doze for $10 without any message. And we just received another one from Yoshiyuki Blade for $100, putting us over the $3,000 goal. And it says, "This has been an amazing event. Shout out to Lethargic Waldo. Thank you for organizing it. Good luck on your road to recovery, Ceriam."
Let's definitely drum up some hype there in chat. 3K. That's a huge milestone to reach, and one that I'm glad we did. I only very recently got to really start to meet Ceriam, but seems like a very good guy and very deserving of all of the assistance that this marathon has wrought. Yeah, Yoshiyuki Blade pointing out shoutouts to all the volunteers that runs from start to finish. Obviously, we can't have a marathon without people being willing to run these games and to practice these games and turn them into speed runs proper. So thank you everybody who had any hand in this whatsoever, start to finish. We have John getting his wave beam after Ridley. That's a welcome addition to have. And Sloaters at G4. Going to head on down to Torian to battle with the Metroids and Mother Brain, who only wants to feed you. That's why she keeps so many hungry Metroids. She's feeding them. And Cheaty taking down Kraid, having plenty of supers to do the job, so Kraid does not stand up. Getting the Constellation Super Pack. At this point, Cheaty having enough ammo that Charge Beam does not matter. Slitter's getting a sick D boost off of that side hopper. Well, Croak refilling. Cheaty finally getting his gravity suit. You gotta figure at this point in the race, especially spending all that time in Meridia, gotta feel a little bit behind. No baby skip today for Sloaters, but that's alright. Facing right, saving those 40 valuable frames. And then opting to Crystal Flash while the baby's still on screen. Obviously, not a play that I would have thought to make, but very efficient for timing. Now full health, doesn't have to bother with the refill station, lost virtually no time at all. Turning off Screw, getting ready for Zeb Skip. And makes it through first try. Croak still refilling. Looks like hoping for a couple more power bombs. Drop rate on those bugs, unfortunately, pretty low. John having a little bit of difficulty finding the hole in the ceiling there, but does make it in. Cheaty seeing Charge Beam, gonna take. And are we saving or killing the animals today? Alright, we are saving the animals. I mean, I guess that's okay. Metroid Fusion was fun casually, so I can forgive it. At least Shack Tool will die in the burning wreckage of the planet. And Sloater's in perfect range for stand-up. Yeah, just remember that, you filthy Shack Tool lovers. No matter whether or not you shoot him, he's still dying in the explosion.
You mind if I jump in here real quick?
Knock yourself out, bud.
Cool, thanks, Trips. We got another $100 donation from Tracy M. Thank you very much, Tracy.
Yo, Tracy, thanks. Stand up in motion for Sloaters. So without being able to use Plasma Beam, or I think in Sloater's case, without picking up Plasma Beam, because 230 missiles weren't checked, a lot less of an impact with stand-up, but the damage does add up. It will wind up taking several Hyper Beam shots off of Mother Brain 3, so it is still a time save. But without the full suite of beams, each downgrade just makes it less and less worth it. Also, pretty incredible. Taking a look at those numbers there for save versus kill, almost $1,000 reached just for that bid war alone. Always a popular option whenever Super Metroid is raced. So definitely thank you to everybody, whether you wanted the animals to live or to die, we are all winners here today. Well, Ceriam, if you wanted to barbecue the animals, you always could have donated to yourself. Skew the results. So Slaughter's making his escape now as John is deep into Torian. Moving very slowly. Looks like he got grabbed by the Metroid as he was attempting baby skip. So I have to assume we're going to see him save the game and reset. But knowing John, it wouldn't surprise me if he decided to go for it anyway. And Sloaters making the play to save the animals. Always kind of worry whenever there's an incentive like that. Sometimes people forget. Sometimes the thrill of the race is so demanding that you just don't think about it. So good to see no last minute DQs. Really urging that last animal there to just boogie on out of the room. And Sloaters finishes the race in what appears to be first place. GG Sloaters. Everybody, make sure if you haven't already, follow the runners, follow Ceriam, follow the organizers, follow the restreamers. Give everybody your love. This wonderful marathon wouldn't be possible without them. Croak finally getting very astute, unfortunately, in an area where it would not be logical, I believe, to have it in Norfair at this point, given the checks he's made. I could be mistaken. However, very astute will at least provide some protection and allow further checks later on in the run. Gmode paying off for Croak there. Truly the 300 IQ strats I don't know how he comes up with this, but it's always a treat to watch. Cheaty now looks like they're on their way. John with the stand up, getting shots into Mother Brain. And Mother Brain 3 down for John. Okay, sorry about that, guys. I think I'm in the clear now. John also saving the animal. So no disqualification there. And GG to John. So now we have Cheaty heading down to deal with Ridley. The final of the bosses on the menu. And Croak still needs to take care of Dragon and Ridley, if I'm not mistaken. So Croak now going to head down and deal with Ridley, it looks like. Unfortunately, not going to find anything of value behind Ridley, short of, Wave Beam, it's good. Not necessary. He's obviously looking for Gravity at this juncture, or his Charge Beam, which we know is in Meridia. Definitely gotta agree with that. Great job by all of our runners, both for this race and everything else that was streamed during the marathon. A lot of entertaining runs were done, some exciting racing we've seen. It's been a real treat, start to finish. So thank you, everybody. Cheaty now wrapping things up. Looks like they're going to be heading over to G4. Unless I missed something, which is entirely possible at this point. Croak now heading down to Wasteland. Gonna do battle with everybody's favorite space pelican. The last of our runners to do so, I believe. Cheaty heading down to Torian. Going to do battle with the Metroids and Mother Brain as Croakomire rather finishes up with Ridley. So one boss to go for Croak, if I'm not mistaken. I do believe that it's just Dragon left on the table at this point. Croak still has not found gravity suit, which actually means that Kraid is still on the table as well for Croak. So 2 bosses left to go. But Croak taking Croak strats, unfortunately, this time not paying off. But the gambles were made and the plays were played. Looks like Cheetah's going to go for that baby skip. We'll see if it works out. Slither's might be getting grabbed by the baby. Oh, and so does Cheaty. Not having that wave beam? And Croak with the speedball out. Meanwhile, Cheaty gonna go ahead and refill. Having the option to Crystal Flash would have saved a little bit of time, but better, I guess, to have the ammo from Mother Brain 1 and 2. It'll go a lot faster than the charge shot. Croak taking a death. Fortunately, a save in place. Meanwhile, Cheaty skipping the Zebs, going to move right on to Angry Angry Brain. Just going to use missiles. I like that call. That way you can just full super Mother Brain 2. And having enough ammo to do it without an issue. Couple supers to spare, and having Charge Beam to fall back on. This should be a very quick and straightforward fight for Cheaty. Dodging that catch up beautifully, pumping those supers into Mother Brain, and now going to damage down. Not opting to stand up. Don't blame that decision at all. At this point, probably just eager to get the race fixed. Kirk, meanwhile, still on the hunt for Kraid, still on the hunt for his gravity suit. I wonder if we're going to see more suitless Meridia, honestly. Croak also still needing to pick up Spazer. Gonna find that though in Meridia, hopefully on the way down to Kraid. So getting to work on Mother Brain 3 on Cheaty's side. Goes down very quickly. And once this escape comes to fruition, then there will be one. Unfortunately, Croak just finding missiles for his trouble. But without knowledge of where gravity might be, I can definitely agree with that call. At this point, he's already seen so much of the seed. Running out of locations to check could be in any of those out-of-the-way ones. Unfortunately, we know it's not. Cheaty apparently really not wanting to kill or save the animals here, wanting all things on this planet to burn. I like that. Taunting the animals, very, very reluctant. Now the incentive was meant to save them, and he is going to commit to it. Okay. Ooh, look at that. We got some X-ray strats going here. I like that the timer is still going down, despite the fact that everything else is frozen. So that is something I never knew before. That was pretty entertaining. And the animals are regrettably saved once again. But that's what you guys paid for, so I can't be too upset about it, right? Going for one final Alcatraz on the way out. I have to wonder if the combination of movement items that Cheaty has is making this a little more difficult. Does make it out. Going to make it to the ship. What a run. Sparking up from the ship, deciding I'm not ready to leave this planet just yet. Before finally landing in the ship. GG Cheaty. Good run, finishing this race in third place with what appeared to be a 154.45. Timer stopped at 48. It was pointed out in the Discord. Times don't matter, so. And now we have Croak finally getting an opportunity to head down into Kraid, going to find his gravity suit and presumably clean up this seed in short order. Croak may be finishing this race last, but he will be in my heart at first for some of the stratagems that were attempted in this run, including that Suitlasaur Norfair. Had there been anything of value down there, that would have been huge. Unfortunately, it just was not the seed for